plan look like for DFK as a whole?
Well, I think what everybody's talked about so far, I think applies well to maybe the current system or the people in the ecosystem. There's kind of different categories of people. There might be people that are aware of these kinds of projects and they're on the side, maybe sitting some money, wondering where to get into and when. There's probably also some people that are sitting, in other projects that have, gone to near zero and they're stuck in you know, a, a sunk cost fallacy, and they're not going to be getting into anything because they're just sitting there waiting for their other projects, coin to go up that may or may not ever go up. But what I like to think about, and maybe goes more towards the, what a developer would think about is, okay, what about the people that aren't even aware of this space at all? Once we have a game to play, how do we get people that would never deal with MetaMask in their whole life to play this game?
Right.
And I feel like, there's going to need to be, in the long-term strategy, maybe it's not marketing, but it is very tied to adoption. Is there some way to get people to have an easy way in to play, to say, I put in $20 and it just puts these magic tokens in my account, and probably there's a centralized custodied wallet that they don't even know about, that's just in the background, just like when you have a wallet on a centralized exchange and you don't necessarily deal with it. Something that's just obfuscated that people can just easily get in and play. I think that's going to be critical.
You may be down, but why are we wrong for being down? Or are we spot on for being wrong?
I think that you got to get out and see things. When we're at different conferences, it's amazing. So when I was in Denver with Grady and with Ogre, and we're walking around the convention hall, and there's 25,000 other people that are all into crypto there. That's when people get excited. I know that when Dreamer and Bolon and the guys were in Singapore, there's no crypto bear market there. Everybody's excited about what's getting built, what's happening, what's going on behind the scenes. Once you start to see the people that are actually doing the building and you get to talk to them and you get to see how excited they are, this is like, reminds me exactly of Silicon Valley. It's like the crypto industry is going to explode over the next 10 years. If you watch other huge macroeconomic people out there like Raoul Pal and those guys, they're buying Ether, they're buying Bitcoin, they're buying all the things they can right now because they know it's only going one way, and that's up.
Nine Door, what's that next deflationary token?
So I guess, we're talking about, I assume we're talking about the big guys here, Crystal, Jade, and Jewel, of course. Jewel already is. I guess I have a little problem with the verbiage chosen, because technically any fixed cap token is deflationary because they will get lost over time and you cannot recover lost tokens. So I would say that Crystal and Jade technically already are deflationary once they're all released, because you cannot recover lost wallets. I mean, lost keys is burned tokens, albeit they're hard to track, so it's hard to say how much is burned. That being said, I'll take a kind of a counter here. On top of that is the only asset I never want to see deflationary is heroes. We always are going to need more heroes because we're going to bring more people in.
People are emotional beings. In crypto, I think you should use your brain and not rely on your heart. You need to do your own research. You need to invest time to learn. The more time you spend seeking that information, the better your security will get.
Sure. So number one, it's making people stay on platform the longest. This is what YouTube does, Twitter does. That's how they reward people. In DFK, right now, for the most part, people only have the ability to quest. Like, this was like before duels, right? It was hard because you'd spend like maybe 3 times per day coming to DFK. There wasn't really anything to do. Once you added all this extra functionality, people are trading on it, people are buying pets, flipping stuff. Now you can do duels. You add more time. With PvP, this is a huge one, but I think they have to do it right, and they have to build it so that there is balance, so that it's not just you show up with a couple Dread Knights and you win everything. The constant evolution of the game is what's going to keep people engaged and excited, wanting to find out what they can do to break the next level of the game. This is how Magic the Gathering has become so popular. You have formats that have existed for 20 years that continue to be innovated. People like me who will show up and drive like 5 hours to play in a massive tournament like that. That's what they want for DFK. They want to pull people in, right? They want to pull people in because they're excited.
Yeah, so you're right about that. I joined when the heroes were super expensive. Perilous Journey was just a few months away, and I was looking, I was like, I've got 6 heroes. They're all common. They're all like level 4. They're all going to die. So I didn't even want to participate with that because I was like, that's multiple K. I'd just be flushing down the toilet. I mean, so I can understand why you think about like the whole like dollar peg. There's been a couple ideas that I've been trying to like sketch up that I was going to eventually put into like the suggestion box for DFK. One of them was actually going to be something on the lines of like a non-tradable starter hero. I mean, like there's a lot of RPGs and MMOs that kind of give you like this like basic junky, nothing out of the ordinary type of like starter characters and stuff like that eventually you grow on, and then they're eventually like left in like your Pokebox or whatever game that you're playing with, you know. So I was always thinking like, what if they gave a chance to have like one non-tradable like common hero of the basic classes being given out, just so people could be like, hey, here's how you can get yourself started with just a basic hero that really can't do much else. You can't trade it. It's just like a one-time lock type of situation, just to kind of get people like started, as opposed to like your dollar idea.
iOS code, is DFK's problem an image problem, or do we have a marketing problem at hand?
Yeah, I think we're in the middle of a transition, probably. I think we're coming out of the image problem phase and going into the marketing problem phase. And I think the team knows that. And one thing that I think about is kind of how, you know, it's not my area of expertise, you know, marketing or image, and the least, obviously. You know, I talk to computers all day.
But you look good.
Thanks, buddy.
Sorry, add time to him. Add time to his thing. Sorry.
I'll add points.
You're supposed to be doing that to Sergeant, okay? That's how you give him points, man. But you know, maybe it's time to stop talking about the past. You know, I think a lot of people don't really remember, you know, prior FUD campaigns and stuff, and probably we don't need to rehash them anymore. So, you know, let's look forward at this point, and you know, forget about the past. Time has healed it.
AI overlord, should we be wary when it comes to crypto and GameFi?
I think in relation to crypto and GameFi, probably not being wary. You know, I subscribed to a website called clearthinking.org, and they recently had a quiz that I thought was really beneficial. I'm going to drop this in the YouTube chat for everyone. I would implore you to go take 15 minutes of your in real life time to go through this. You know, like one of the questions that they don't shy away from tough topics. One of the questions they brought up is like, did you know that there are autonomous killbots as of 2020 that have been used? Like that is a real thing that we need to be aware of. But we also need to be aware that sentient AI is probably, you know, experts believe 20 to 40 years away. So what we're doing now, we need to be investing on, you know, creating safety measures and trying to make sure that AI can be guided, and that you know, we can support it, because it's going to happen, and it is an accelerant to say, on topic to the question, it's going to be an accelerant to all industries, whether it's web industry, whether it's Web3 industry, the gaming industry. AI is going to be there whether we like it or not, and we're best to make peace with that, and to help it help us.
The ecosystem need more power tokens. You said it yourself. It was those crazy APRs that got you into DFK.
Exactly, and it's going to take those crazy APRs to get other degens in, especially when there's new realms that launch. Also, to the tokenomics that they've designed right now, I think that Hubert's behind are spot on. When it was first just Jewel, it was way out of whack, and we learned that all of us learned that the hard way, right? When we were paying $1,000 for a hero. I'm super excited about new players getting in because they can buy heroes for $5, right? If the hero price goes up past $50 or $100, you know, it's going to be really, really difficult to get new players in the game. But when we have those tokenomics, now we're going to have what, 500,000 or 400,000 Crystal and Jade, plus we had another, you know, 500 million. So we're going to have so much more tokens that are going to go around and get spread around to, it can be used inside the game, inside the, you know, the ecosystem. Plus we just have Jewel now that's going to go one way, baby. Jewel's deflationary. It's going straight up. You know, if you don't want to buy the power token, don't. Just buy Jewel.
Let me really make this clear. The if you build it, they will come mentality is absolutely false.
What?
Let me make this clear, you guys. Let me just tell you, the same amount of effort and time that the devs have put in developing this game, that same amount of time that they put in, all the bazillion hours they put in, it's going to require that same amount of time and effort to message and market this project, because it's a long grinding road. People got to hear it sometimes 20, 30 times, and then they'll eventually be like, okay, I guess I just got to go check this out.
Yeah, I mean, in essence, I kind of shifted a while ago where I just stopped summoning my 10 out of 10s and started selling them and used that money to buy the heroes I wanted because they were all over the place. Just because
I appreciate
of all
you selling them for me.
There we go. We got a deal. And that's what it is. And forever, I built up an entire army with those 10 out of 10s. You know, I got the Gen Zeros and I just used them as much as possible, and it was awesome. But at a certain point, you know, I just looked at the market and said, everybody's just spam summoning. There's all these amazing heroes on DGen dungeons at any time. They're, you know, for laughable prices, and I just want to spend all my crystal on that. So I just, you know, I feel like I'm a good hero shopper, and if everybody else wants to take on the risk and, you know, get the reward, fair enough.
If I'm going to be cynical, for the sake of argument, Nine Dwarf, if I'm holding anything but Jewel, I'm being silly. Jewel is the only token I should be holding.
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna challenge the preface here that Jewel's the only deflationary token. I think it's the only one that's designed to be deflationary. All of the other ones, once they get done with this accumulation phase, when there's a sink, all of these other ones will deflate as we burn them off and spend them. So I think deflationary is kind of relative right now, in a sense that there just isn't that content. Once the content releases, these other tokens will deflate. So I don't think there's any reason to be afraid of any in-game asset. I think bloaters are underrated. I mean, I don't know that I would go buy a trillion bloaters, because I probably couldn't afford a trillion bloaters, but I'm just saying that every asset will continue to gain value as we burn them and spend them for potions and PvP. And I think PvE even has larger potential, although that's probably a little bit further out. But items are going to go up, no doubt.
Quite honestly, I mean, I get the 1,000 floor heroes today. They pay off so quick. I can just buy my Gen 0 tomorrow. I mean, not literally, but quite figuratively. I mean, the Gen 0 or 1,000 floor heroes. What are you doing? And you're muted. We can't hear you, but it sounds like you had some hot takes there.
I had a bit of a moment when Aphex posted this thing. You may not have noticed, but I left like 6 comments on his thread in various places, alternating between Gen 0 and 1,000 floor heroes. And it was kind of a crisis of confidence, because recently, actually, same guy, Aphex, sold me 2 Gen 0s like last week. And, allegedly needed.
No, you got a good deal. That's a good deal.
No. I got there eventually.
That
Bob.
pair is amazing.
I got there eventually, but I was just like, holy shit. I could have bought 1,000+ heroes with that money. You know, there was just this moment where I was like, I could have been Christian Peter. I think about this guy as a legend. You know,
A dream we all have. A dream we've all had. I could be Christian Peter.
I can't fucking work now. I gotta think about whether I screwed up, and now this guy's like calling me on it, subtweeting me by doing this poll. Like, oh, I know Apex was not doing that, and I know that my situation is slightly different. So, but I had a big reaction to it, and yeah, if it's just one Gen 0, you know, I do think ultimately, I think 1,000 is probably better than one. But as Apex reassured me, because he's a great salesman, my purchase was still good because I got 2 that were like a matching set, you know, and that is, it's unique, right? There's added value, there's premium because of that. So I don't feel so bad, but yeah, I would go with the 1,000 floor heroes, preferably not an even distribution among the 4 professions though. And so that is one reason, Christian Peter, going back up to you, why I do sell some heroes is because I have too many gardeners for DFK helper to be efficient because I made a early investment into gardeners that was not good. And I gotta get some of those off my hands and then take that money and summon some foragers and fishers and stuff.
So the first thing I would probably say here, I think everyone captured this, is if you want to truly do well in DeFi Kingdoms, that doesn't mean you just show up, open up DeFi Kingdoms, hit quest, hit farm, hit like collect your jewel or whatever. I find so many people quit because that's what they think the game's about, just doing the basic functions. You have to do way more than that if you want to succeed. Number one, I had like the most popular live stream I had so far was, you know, comparing like Dwight to Jim and talking about somebody who just follows the rules per se, and somebody who's out there trying to get ahead, right? Somebody who's speculating, somebody who's sitting there like what Tad said, right? Trying to create those advanced pairs, matching subclasses, whatever. Anything that's beyond just the basic function, that's how you build your account. Otherwise, you're going to sit there and make very, very small gains and sit there hoping for like a blue egg every day, which is, you know, at the end of the day, it's like $1, right?
So here's something interesting. No points for this. I just want to hear your thought. You know, no one mentioned bots. You know, with 10K, are you not doing a bot? It almost sounds like with that kind of money.
What Tad's doing, right? Because he's building like 600 heroes for that. Once you get to a certain number of heroes, you need a bot. Like I'm gonna release the video soon. I got 150 shit heroes, let's say, that came out of the summoning raffle. Like, I'm not sitting there collecting them every day, and I'm actually going to show the profit. So one of the things, and I would refute the commentary on profitability of Gen 1 summoning. I have been summoning since June. I must either be the most unluckiest person in the world, or I literally hit 1 mythic. I have every single summon that's been tracked.
Need a better tool.
Yeah, I know, but in the absence of it, 6 to 7 months. And let me tell you something. I have whiffed, I've hit commons, uncommons for the last month and a half, with the exception of like 3 rares. I am still up almost like 80% on Gen 0 summon. Because I'm sitting there and looking for the best hire. I'm looking for the best EV. I'm not looking for, you know, sometimes that means not looking for a matching subclass. That means not looking for like a certain advanced trait. You get super, super high EV. Like I made 4,000 crystal in January off 3 Gen 0s. And that's 0 rare.
I think everybody has their own risk tolerance, but speculating recklessly, I think, is healthy for a game and a community for a game. It's the reckless action that you got to be careful for. So definitely, like, be smart, like Raph said, you know, like, do your own research, find good resources, but by all means, speculate. One of the biggest reckless speculators I know is Mosh, and he's won plenty of times because of it. So yeah, all hell Mosh. That's my brother. I love him.
Wrong for being so low on DFK or crypto or Web3, GameFi, or you know, the financial. Why should we be pumped about the next 6 months, next year? Freak, why are we wrong for being low? Why should we be bullish more today than yesterday?
Yeah, no, if you're like down in the dumps right now, you're over leveraged, or you're just not understanding that you can't be an emotional investor. I mean, we're playing a game, but at the same time we're investing. I can't say I haven't over leveraged myself before, but right now, like I'm at my most euphoric point. There's so much coming out with the game. Get your shit in order and just enjoy the space. The good times will come. Right now, there's a time and place for everything, and right now is survive. Just survive.
Are you attempting to find that perfect hero? What does that look like for you?
Okay, here. I'll give you the perfect thing from me. I do what I do because it's fun. Fun. At the end of the day, I am a gamer. I'm a gamer, right? I know we all want to make money here, but there has to be people like me that want to show people that the game is fun. This is fun. It's fun to build these heroes. It's fun to hit a double elite and be like, yo, what did I just do? Like that, it gives you a good solid reaction. It feels great. Of course, yes, not everyone can just go and throw Crystal and Jade away, and yet there need to be people like you as well that can stack that up, can stack those heroes, can have the heroes for when new players come in. Somebody got to have the heroes for them to buy. We need those people too. We need Christian Peters, who has all those heroes, so when new people come in, they have stuff to buy. But then they got to do something with the heroes as well, right? They got to summon them. They got to equip them with weaponry and armor and all that cool stuff. They got to level them up. They got to beef them out. At the end of the day, if you look at like Elden Ring, people want the best character. You usually want to be the best person. You want to have the best hero, the best character, yada, 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 yada. But that's also different for everyone. Like, you might think a Mythic Dread is the best hero. You know what I mean? I might think a Mythic Second Life Wizard is the best hero. It just depends on what the person likes. Like each gamer usually picks a class when they play a game, right? Why do they pick the archer? Why do they pick the warrior? Why do they pick the hero? Because that's just what they like. You know what I mean? So I don't think there necessarily is a best hero, which goes into what y'all been saying. There's not necessarily a best hero.